Hello, I'm learning. Let me just a little bit. Um, I don't have like a sheet for me to do pinpoint. So sometimes um, I may go back and say something because it's like, oh yeah, like an outline of whatever it is that I'm going to say. So it would be more guided, like the conversation. It's like giving a speech. Once you write the speech, you may memorize it or you just know exactly what you want to say. Well, I didn't write a speech or anything, but I am just going live. I have something to say. Partnership, personal or business. The point is yes, it's good to have companionship and partnership. Okay. It means that you're able to trust people. It means that not only are you trusting people with your business, personal or business, the thing is that if we were to carry on life, to talk about, well, we just need to carry for ourselves. And even when we're looking at ourselves, the thing is that who do you think will care for your stuff? Okay, one of the conversations that I was hosting was about lineage, okay, and things that we have collected over the years, good things, bad things, some things you just have to work out. But when we begin to look at those things that we have inherited in our life, with our life, material things, we would assume just material things. Anything else, when we start talking about something saying, oh, okay, well, this is a pattern, negative, because we have read many books, and those books have said to us that those patterns are not correct. Somebody is trying to create a cycle of how something should go with your personal life. Now, if we're looking at heirlooms, things that were given to us, property, heirlooms could be for some people property, watches, jewelry. Let me say jewelry because I know commonly men were given watches. There was a reason why for the watch, okay? It was a tradition for men to give their sons watches, a tradition. So that's the reason why I said watch. Anyway, by itself. Um, so you have what other tangible thing? You have stocks. There's securities. Let's put it say securities. There's insurance. Okay, so these things people inherit. Um, whether people are given a living trust, whether they have a will, whether they just directly give things to somebody and trusting that they'll be right by them. Okay, so we was to say, okay, well, I'm just going to give these things to someone, and then they want to do wrong by you. Then here it is, the goodness or the thought of you wanting to share something with them have changed. It was not how you thought somebody would have treated you. It wouldn't have been that thought that you would think somebody would do you in or do you out to try to prevent you from having things, glory, and prevent you from or try to hinder you from excelling in life. Okay? So when you think about your grandparents and then your parents, and then we had the conversation about our great grandparents. Then you have some people say, well, I was adopted or I was in foster homes, I was in foster care. Well, the thing is you have family. You still have family somewhere, right? Now, the thing is that as people get older, they will say, "Oh, okay, all of this will just be in my name." And then once someone dies, and you can have it. Then you have those people who say, "Well, you know what? They want to teach their children. Okay, they want to teach their children how to be sustainers, maintainers of their assets." Okay, now, if you're not teaching a child how to be financially stable, then what happens is random acts of selfishness take place. Now, when we begin to look at a pattern, that watch, we realize that now when you start looking collectively at a community, okay, or you start looking at your neighbors, now these things are outsourced. They're not let's say at your home, like here it is, your being, and then the conveniences that you have from your rewards or your earnings. Okay. Now, when you look at a business, something similar. When people take on partnership, they have decided that there is a mission and a goal. I know readily we have some people that say, oh, we must unite. And then that thought about taking care of home. Home is inclusive to, here it is, your personal home as well as your business. So it begins to matter who's sitting at the table with you in the boardroom, or here it is, the kitchen table. Because the thing is that if my thoughts about our well-being is to excel, glory, and accelerate, and then yet here it is somewhere in your thoughts and your mind is to see like how I'm able to dismantle or cripple or any or prevent and all that. Now we're just not on the same page. Our money is not the same. Okay, I know rarely I've had these conversations about the money. Then it means our money is not the same. Okay. And so when somebody's saying, oh, okay, well, listen, well, let's see. Well, I'm going to be the first woman. Now I'm going to personal to talk to anybody. I don't care what sex you is. But when you're looking at someone and then yet, hey, you need to get employment, which I have been applying. I mean, for business and personal, that's what you're going to do. There are some people who have taken on a profession to say, okay, well, they want to take on a different kind of profession. But I tell young people readily, there are opportunities out there for employment. It is. So we don't have to take on an option to say, okay, well, listen, this is what I'm going to do because it just seemed easy. And I don't want no one to tell me what to do. And then violate yourself personally. Uh-uh. So I want to be the first one to say, you know what? Yes, it is good when you have a partner, or somebody who cares about you, somebody who cares about the mission, the purpose, the business, the home. You understand? Because now readily people want to feed into what? Building up, building, 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 building. That would be the point. Some people say, matter of fact, I was looking at this TV documentary. Well, it wasn't really a documentary. I was posting homes on Facebook, and the homes that I would start looking at, I was like, wow, right? They're immaculate places. Some had technology and all of the kind of stuff. But there's one particular place I was like, wow, that's kind of awkwardly built. But I think they had like 15 floors. They were literally building up. So they had that one floor, then they had the second one, third one, fourth. It was just building up, 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 up. And it wasn't straight like a regular building like we know as high towers. They were awkwardly built, okay? The different floors, okay? Now that was literal. When you're looking at, well, when you're looking at your business, you're sitting down with people, and it's one thing when you know yourself as being a teacher and other people are also taught, and then other people are able to bring things to the table. The goal is just that: amelioration, 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 amelioration. It is someone else who wants to talk somewhat different than what is it that you're trying to do. Not to speak negatively about someone, but the goal is to know that you want just as much as another person want for themselves, right? Not by itself. You get some people, I'm not going there. This is the reason why we talk about money. There's one thing to talk about assets, and then there's another thing to have the thought to say, we're going to move forward. You understand? Moving forward, meaning that you want to build to have more. People go out there readily and they're out there, they're looking for employment. And then once they're with their employer, let's just look at that as an example. They go from one place to another place and they begin to build. They're looking for the accounts. They're looking at ways to improve. They're looking for the money to hire people. Okay, so that's the thing. When you're starting off with a business, sometimes there's no money there at all. Then you're looking for people, and then once the business started to grow, whatever, you're looking for more resources or whatever, now you're able to hire people. And then once you hire those people, then what happens? It gets bigger. Now you have other people who have bright minds and thoughts, and it gets bigger. Then you get some people, they just have their one little tienda, their one little store, and it just make the maintenance of that is just the only thing that they do. Is anything wrong with that? No. However, for other people, hey, you know what? I have this idea for this, that, and the other. And then other people come in, and it may not be any resources. And this is the reason why you look for the money. And this is the reason why connections work. We can look at now a corporation. Okay, we could look at real estate, we could look at insurance, we could look at a business salesperson. The goal of them is to, yes, to sell whatever, to sell the property, sell the insurance, and then get other people to buy into whatever it is that they're trying to do. The same thing with the organization, the same thing with the corporation. Okay. So for me to say that partnership or companionship is not worthy, it is. That means that somebody cares about you. That means that glory. That means that somebody is willing to work with you because they have also shared the same value system, or they want to know more about the idea to have more. Okay. So the goal to having more is with self, but you also know that with self, there's also an inclusion with other people. Other people help make it happen. Not to be like, oh, well, listen, this is this color. Oh, is this here? Does this work? Oh, it's just here. It is this ideology. Oh, is this only? And I said, well, the main only thing is when you're working good with other people. You understand? When you're working good with other people, you can make things happen. There's one thing to say, okay, well, I want to involve all the other people. And yes, you see all the different people in different places and get into them. Listen, for this one little sheet of paper to make a copy, it's expensive. Okay? There was a time it was only like 5 cents. Now it's marked up. It's more than that. So this one little sheet of paper right here, okay, it costs money. Now to reach out to different people and say, okay, well, Emmanuel, Manuel. All right, I'm gonna write it down. Well, writing it down, guess what? That's work too. Then you're going out, you're asking people to support your idea. Well, what is it? I'm like, wow, I gotta work on my elevator pitch. I gotta work on it. I don't know. It gets like that sometimes, or maybe I'm just not at that ready at that moment. Somebody said, "Well, what is it that you do?" Yeah, I gotta work on it. But the paper costs money to post it, to print it, to put it inside of another um, article or something like that. If you're just not posting it on your Facebook page or your social media page, if you're not posting it, if you're using, let's just say, print magazines and stuff like that, and you're trying to reach out to different people, you're posting an event on Eventbrite. Hey, listen, let's bring our talents together. And then I realized that people who are committed, you're right, they'll stick around. Oh, they'll stick around. Okay. Sorry, I start laughing around. I was looking at this little thing, and the little girl said, "I told this person where we stayed," and the mama said, "You don't give them our address. You just tell them you're around." I love it. Just like the young lady said. He said, "What is your name?" She said, "My name is Plenty." I said, "I love it." Anyway, sorry, that was just the inside thought. Um, so I mean, when we're looking at trying to cultivate people and we're handing out, again, a little flyer like this, and we're saying, hey, this is something we're doing, even looking at, let's say, a business card, all that other kind of stuff. And then you're trying to connect with people because you want them to understand your vision and you want them to participate. Every little bit, it counts. It do. Partnership, business partners, companions. It's good when you're working with somebody and they understand what is it that you're saying, vice versa. Hey honey, I want a car. And some people say, wonderful. Then you get some people say, wow, we gotta look at our books, right? Then I mean when you're together with somebody, right? That's at home. Then you're like, okay, you live in an apartment or something, you like, I've been on my job now, you've been on your job now. We're ready. All your finances okay, like your credit and everything, you'd be ready to purchase. Okay? The same thing with a partnership. Two people working together and they're like, hey, you know what? You're doing good. Maybe one person was working in another office or they sharing clients or they know the same people. And they're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and partner up. This is my practice here. And now you see merge practices together. Okay. And now they take it on here. It is a partnership. Doctors, lawyers. Okay. Some offices are filled up with a lot of different talents. You see these different talents in major corporations. Okay. So should we say that, oh, we're just going to work on our own? Well, working on your own, then you're looking for money. you then you're looking for other people and their talents. This is part of BB&D, business building and development. Maybe somebody know how to do cooking a little bit different than here it is the traditional way of just handwriting bookkeeping. Maybe there's somebody who specialized in policies and legislation, right? But then yet you're very knowledgeable about American administrative justice. Partnership, people, it works. Partnership, word, work, witness, partnership, having companion, okay? Having people who you trust, people who want your well-being as good as you want your own, and yes, that, okay?